right, let's go. This is a small claims matter. Plaintiff, you are suing for $2,500. Explain to me in one sentence why you are here.
My former best friend, Miss Keller, asked me to pay for her wedding venue deposit because her credit card was maxed out, promised to pay me back in 2 weeks, and then she broke off the engagement and told me the money was a gift.
So you gave her $2,500 for a wedding that didn't happen? Did she give you anything in writing that said she was going to pay you back?
I have text messages, Mom. She said, word for word, "Marissa, I am in a bind. Can you please cover the deposit for the venue? I will Venmo you the second I get my next paycheck. I swear on my life."
Let me see the texts. Hand them to the marshal. Ms. Keller, did you get your next paycheck?
Yes, ma'am, I did, but things changed. The engagement ended, and I honestly believe that Marissa knew when she gave me that money that it was for my happiness, and I don't think friends ask for money back for a failed relationship.
Oh, you don't think friends ask for money back? Well, I think friends pay back money they borrow. You borrowed money to put down on a venue. You didn't get married. Why didn't you get the deposit back from the venue?
The contract was non-refundable, ma'am. I tried to get it back, but they had a strict policy, so the money is just gone. It went to the venue, not to me, so I don't have it to give back.
The contract was non-refundable, Mom. I tried to get it back, but they had a strict policy, so the money is just gone. It went to the venue, not to me, so I don't have it to give back.
Ms. Keller, did you call the venue to cancel the date and ask for your money back?
I sent an email. I have a draft of it. I was really emotional and I just didn't follow up.
You have a draft of an email. That's not a phone call. That's not a cancellation. That's you typing something and not sending it. So the venue still has your date reserved and they have your friend's money. Ms. Hartwell, do you have a receipt from the venue?
Yes, Mom. I have the bank statement showing the transfer from my savings account to the venue, and I have the confirmation email Brianna forwarded to me with the deposit amount and my name listed as the payer. She told them it was from her maid of honor, but I was the one who paid.
Let me see the bank statement. Ms. Keller, were you living with your fiancé at the time?
No, ma'am, we were not living together. He lived with his parents. I lived with Marissa, actually. We were roommates. That's why I felt comfortable asking her. We shared a space. We shared everything.
So you were roommates. You asked your roommate to cover a $2,500 deposit. She did. You get paid. You don't pay her back. You break up with the fiancé. Then you move out, I assume.
Yes, ma'am. I moved out about 2 weeks after the engagement ended. It was too awkward.
She moved out in the middle of the night and took half of the furniture we bought together. And she never paid me back for that either. But I'm not suing for that. I'm suing for the venue deposit because that was a specific loan.
I'm not interested in the furniture. Stay on topic. Ms. Keller, when you got your next paycheck, how much was it?
It was around $2,000 after taxes. But I had other bills. I had a car payment and I had to put a deposit down on a new apartment because I was moving out. I couldn't just give her the full $2,500.
Did you give her anything? Did you give her $500? Did you give her $100? Did you give her $20 to show good faith?
No, ma'am, I was planning to, but then we had a big fight about the breakup. She said I was stupid for leaving him, and I said it was none of her business, and it spiraled.
It spiraled. It spiraled from you owing her $2,500 to you not speaking. Ms. Hartwell, was the breakup amicable between you and Ms. Keller before the money issue?
No. I mean, she was my best friend. I supported her through the entire relationship. When she met this guy, I was happy for her. When she said yes to the proposal, I cried with her. I paid for her venue because she was desperate and I loved her. But when she called me and said, "I'm done, he's out," I said, "Okay, let's get your deposit back." And she said, "No, it's fine. You gave me that for the wedding. It was a gift."
Show me the text where you said it was a gift. You brought the phone?
I don't have it in a text. I said it to her on the phone. It was a verbal conversation. I was emotional. I wasn't thinking clearly. I just felt that if the wedding wasn't happening, the whole thing was a waste. And I didn't want to have to go through the humiliation of calling the venue and begging for money back for a wedding I called off.
So rather than be humiliated on the phone with a venue you'd never see again, you decided to keep your friend's $2,500. That's your logic?
When you say it like that, it sounds bad, but I was devastated. I had just ended a 3-year relationship. I wasn't trying to steal from her. I was just trying to survive.
Survive? You had a job. You had a place to live with your friend. You were surviving just fine. You just didn't want to deal with the consequences of your decision. Ms. Hartwell, did you try to call the venue yourself to get the money back after she refused?
I did, Mom. I called them about 3 weeks after the breakup. They said they could only release the deposit to the person on the contract, which was Brianna, or to the person who paid if they had a notarized release from the contract holder. I asked Brianna to sign something, and she said no.
Ms. Keller, why wouldn't you sign a piece of paper to let her get her own money back?
Because I was angry. She was texting me every day saying, "You ruined your life, you're going to regret this." And I just felt like she was trying to control me. If I signed that paper, it was like admitting she was right.
So you were willing to let $2,500 evaporate just to prove a point to your ex-friend that you were in charge of your own bad decisions. Is that what I'm hearing?
I didn't see it that way at the time. I saw it as her trying to use the money to get me to do what she wanted.
What she wanted was her money back. That's what she wanted. Let's go back to the timeline. You asked for the money. She gave it to you on what date?
It was March 15th. I transferred it from my savings. I have the timestamp on the bank statement. It was 7 p.m.
And when was your next paycheck, Ms. Keller?
I get paid on the 15th and the 30th. So my next paycheck was March 30th.
March 30th, 15 days later. You promised to pay her back the second you got your next paycheck. Did you pay her on March 30th?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Did you pay her on March 31st, April 1st?
No, I did not pay her.
When did you break up with the fiancé?
April 10th.
So for 10 days after you got paid, before you broke up with the fiancé, you had the money in your account and you didn't pay her back. Why?
I was using that paycheck to pay for the bridal shower. I had expenses for the shower coming up. I figured I'd pay her back with the next paycheck after that, on April 15th.
But you promised the next paycheck. Not the next paycheck. The second you got your next paycheck, you broke your promise before the relationship ended. So don't tell me the breakup is why you didn't pay her back. You already didn't pay her back.
I was going to. I was planning on it. The bridal shower was a priority at the time. I thought she would understand because she was my maid of honor.
I didn't know she was spending the money on the shower. She told me she needed the deposit covered. She didn't tell me she was going to use her paycheck to buy decorations and a cake. I would have said something.
Ms. Keller, is that true? Did you use your March 30th paycheck to pay for the bridal shower?
Partially. I also had to pay my car insurance, but I spent about $800 on the shower.
So you had your friend's $2,500 in the hands of a venue and you used your own money for a party. That's called robbing Peter to pay Paul, except you didn't pay Peter. You just kept the money. Ms. Hartwell, do you have a copy of the text where she said she would pay you back?
I do. It's on my phone. I also have a text from April 12th, 2 days after the breakup, where I asked her about the venue deposit and she said, "It's paid for. It's done. I'm not doing this with you."
Let's see that one. It's paid for, it's done. That sounds like she's acknowledging it was your money that paid for it. Ms. Keller, you said the deposit was a gift. Why would you say it's paid for if it was a gift? A gift is given. You don't say it's paid for like a transaction.
I meant it's paid for as in the money is gone. The deposit is non-refundable. There's nothing to give back. The transaction with the venue was complete.
But the transaction with your friend was not complete. She gave you money on a promise to return it. That's a loan. A loan is a contract. You have to pay it back. Did you have any discussion with Ms. Hartwell before she gave you the money about what would happen if the wedding was canceled?
No. I never thought she would cancel it. She was so excited. I never in a million years thought I'd be sitting here.
Ms. Keller, did you ever think if I cancel, I owe my friend this money back?
Honestly, no. In my mind, the money was for the wedding. The wedding didn't happen. So it was a sunk cost. I didn't see the point in trying to recover it. And I was hurt that she was more concerned about the money than about my emotional state.
She was concerned about the money because it was her money. You can be concerned about your own emotional state all you want, but that doesn't give you the right to keep someone else's money. What was the name of the venue?
The Oakwood Gardens. It's in the suburbs.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want a yes or no answer. Did you ever at any point pick up the phone and call the Oakwood Gardens to ask them if they would return the deposit to Ms. Hartwell?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
I was embarrassed. I called off a wedding that my whole family was excited about. My mother was devastated. I couldn't then call the venue and say, "By the way, can you give my ex-friend her money back?" It was too humiliating.
So the humiliation of a phone call to a business you'll never step foot in again was worth more than $2,500 of your friend's money. That's a very expensive phone call you avoided.
It wasn't just one phone call. It was the principle. I made a decision. I didn't want to deal with the wedding at all. I wanted to erase it.
You wanted to erase it with her money? You didn't want to use your own money to erase it? You used hers. Ms. Hartwell, did you attend the bridal shower?
I did. I helped plan it. I spent another $400 on that, which I'm not even asking for. I just want the deposit back.
Ms. Keller, did you reimburse her for the $400 she spent on the shower?
No, ma'am, that was a gift for the wedding.
So she gave you a loan for the venue, gave you gifts for the shower, and you're here defending the fact that you didn't even attempt to get her money back from the venue. Did you ask your ex-fiancé to help with the deposit?
No, he didn't have any money. He was working part-time at a gym. His parents were paying for the catering, but I handled the venue.
So the person with the maxed out credit card, the part-time working fiance, and the devoted best friend, and the devoted best friend is the one who ends up holding the bag. I want to see the contract with the venue. Do you have it?
So the person with the maxed out credit card, the part-time working fiance, and the devoted best friend. And the devoted best friend is the one who ends up holding the bag. I want to see the contract with the venue. Do you have it?
I don't care what it says to you. I care about whether they would have made an exception if you had actually asked. You didn't ask. So that contract is irrelevant because you never triggered the cancellation clause by actually canceling. You just walked away.
That's what I tried to tell her. The woman at the venue said they have a wait list for that date. They probably could have transferred the deposit to someone else if she had just let them know.
Did you tell Ms. Keller that when you called the venue?
I did. I told her. They said if you just cancel, they can apply the deposit to another couple, and they can refund it to me. And she said she didn't care. She said I was harassing her.
Ms. Keller, is that accurate? She told you there was a wait list and the deposit could be transferred?
She told me a lot of things. She was calling me nonstop. I was at work. I was trying to move on. I didn't believe her. I thought she was just saying that to get me to engage with her.
So your friend told you there was a way to get the money back and you didn't believe her because you thought she was lying to get you to talk to her? That doesn't make any sense. If she wanted you to talk to her, why would she lie about something you could easily verify with one phone call?
I wasn't thinking logically. I was in a bad place. I just wanted her to leave me alone.
You wanted her to leave you alone so badly that you were willing to lose her $2,500 just to not have to deal with her. That's not a bad place. That's spite. That's pure, unadulterated spite.
It wasn't spite. It was self-preservation. She was judging me. She was telling me I made a mistake. I didn't want to hear it.
Of course, she was judging you. You broke your word to her. You broke your promise. You kept her money. She had a right to judge you. You are in a court of law right now, and I am judging you. And I'm not finding in your favor so far. Ms. Hartwell, do you have any other evidence besides the text and the bank statement?
I have a voice memo she sent me on March 14th, the day before I sent the money. She was crying, asking me to help her because her card was declined at the venue. She said she would be homeless if she lost the date. I have it right here.
Let's hear it. Play it for me.
Let's hear it. Play it for me.
It's a voice memo she sent to her. It's her phone. She can play it. Let's hear it. I will pay you back, I swear, every penny. That sounds very different from it was a gift. Ms. Keller, did you send that voice memo?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
So you swore on your life in a text, and you swore every penny in a voice memo, and now you're telling me it was a gift. When did it become a gift?
After the breakup, when I realized I couldn't get the money back, I told myself it was a gift. I convinced myself that she would have wanted me to have that happiness.
You convinced yourself. You didn't convince her. You didn't ask her. You just decided. Ms. Hartwell, did you ever tell her that money is a gift? You don't have to pay me back?
Never. Not once. I said, I'm happy to help you, but you have to pay me back when you can. She said she would. I trusted her.
Ms. Keller, did Ms. Hartwell ever say to you, don't worry about it, it's a gift?
No, but I thought that was implied because we were best friends. Best friends help each other.
Best friends pay each other back. You know what best friends don't do? They don't take their best friend's money, spend it on a venue, cancel the event, and then tell them to get lost. That's not a best friend. That's a taker. I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you ever sign a release for her to get her money back from the venue?
No, ma'am.
Would you be willing to do that today if it meant she got her money back?
I don't know. The wedding was a year ago. I've moved on. I'm engaged to someone else now. I don't want to bring up that old chapter.
You're engaged again to someone else, and you're still holding on to the deposit from the first failed engagement?
She's been engaged for 6 months. I found out through Instagram. She's planning a whole new wedding with a new venue,
Ms. Keller, are you planning a new wedding?
Yes, I am, and I learned my lesson. I'm not asking anyone for money this time. We're paying for everything ourselves.
But you still have your old best friend's money sitting in a venue that you never canceled. You could call that venue today, cancel the date, and have them refund the deposit to Ms. Hartwell. Why haven't you done that?
Because I'm embarrassed. I don't want to call them and explain the whole situation. And to be honest, I'm a little bitter that she's taking me to court over this.
You're bitter? She's bitter. She's out $2,500 because you're too embarrassed to make a phone call. I have heard enough. I don't need a witness. I don't need any more texts. I have a voice memo, a text, a bank statement, and an admission that you never even tried to fix it. Ms. Keller, you borrowed money with a clear promise to pay it back. You did not pay it back. You did not attempt to mitigate the loss by canceling the contract. You have been holding this money hostage for over a year. That is a breach of contract. That is, frankly, a breach of friendship. But more importantly, it's a breach of the law. I am awarding Ms. Hartwell the full amount of $2,500.
But ma'am, the deposit is non-refundable. I didn't get the money.
You didn't get the money because you didn't try to get the money. The money is sitting there. The venue has it. You can go get it. That is your problem now. You are going to pay Ms. Hartwell $2,500, and then you are going to call that venue. You are going to cancel that date, and you are going to get your own money back from them. But you are not going to profit from your friend's generosity. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500.
Thank you, Mom.
Don't thank me. You shouldn't have had to come here. You should have gotten a phone call a year ago. Ms. Keller, you need to learn that promises matter. You can't just decide unilaterally that a loan is a gift because it's convenient for you. That's not how money works. That's not how life works.
I understand, ma'am.
I hope you do, because the next time you ask a friend for money, they're going to remember this, and they're going to say no, and they'd be right. We're done.